you are going to make a magazine cover. Now, there's a lot of details and things that go into making a cover. Some of the stuff for photoshopping as well as the topography stuff we'll get into next week. But the essential idea is this. When you look at the variety of magazine covers that are here, there is some commonality. There's usually some strong image in the center, and then the title is normally right up here at the very top. The reason this title, or what's also known as a masthead, is at the top is when the magazines are stacked on top of each other, you need to be able to still see that item at the name of the magazine. So if you look at some example ones that are here are some example mastheads. Now, oftentimes the masthead is just simply a stylized font. Sometimes they're a little bit more detailed, like Rolling Stone has more of a 3D kind of effect. You can see some that have more structure and stuff. You'll actually be creating the masthead in Illustrator, and then we'll be pulling that over because the rest of the work will all be done in Photoshop. We'll get into more about how to construct the masthead and what to do to build the Photoshop version next week. But for this week, what we're going to be looking at primarily is finding inspiration. Now, in order to do that, your main thing that you're going to be coming up with for this week is creating a Pinterest mood board that has 10 to 15 images of magazine covers that catch your attention. Then you're going to be filling out a magazine planning sheet that gets you thinking about what is your magazine topic going to be, who is going to be reading this, what are some names that you can use, what are some possible taglines or slogans that you could have on there, and what are some article ideas that you have that we can use for the text on the magazine. Then you'll be finding images that you think you could use for your cover, and you'll be recording a screencast. That screencast will just go to me. I'm going to start having you turn in the majority of all the screencasts directly to me as opposed to posting them to the discussion board. So let me show you my Pinterest board. So what I did is I went through and I found a lot of different magazine covers that caught my attention. Now, whether or not it's a topic that you're interested in, it doesn't matter. It does not have to be the same exact topic. Perhaps it's some way that they utilized Photoshop, because this is the Photoshop version of a magazine, so you are going to have to do some kind of Photoshopping to create some visual interest. And we'll talk more detail about that later. Sometimes it can be as simple as cutting out the background so that you're able to actually have some part of the image tied in with the title. Sometimes it's doing some kind of graphic that's happening in here towards the edge. Maybe it's doing something with the type treatment. It's possible that you're doing something where you're doing black and white and you're colorizing it and then putting some stuff into the background. It's really going to depend. But for the first part, you're going to create a brand new mood board and just call it magazine cover or magazine cover mood board. And you're going to pin 10 to 20 or so different images of covers that catch your attention. Some of these that I really like are the ones that have these strong topography. I think that's really interesting to look at. Sometimes it's a matter of just, I like what they've done with the hair across the top here or the type that's on the center. Or sometimes like this, I really like that handwritten kind of effect. That's really cool looking. This stylized masthead up here, this aerial shot or this overview of the food that's on there. So there's a lot of different things that caught my attention on here. And you'll just pin those to your Pinterest board. Now, there are so many different aspects of a magazine cover, and we'll get into more details of this next week. But if you look at the assignment sheet and the rubric that's posted in the magazine cover section, you'll see it referred to with a lot of different words like the masthead, the slogan, or what's also known as the selling line. That's essentially a little bit more of a description of what this magazine is. Then there's your articles. You'll have a barcode. There's actually not a barcode on this one. There should be. Should be like right there. The issue number, the volume number, and we'll get into more of that next week. But for this week, the primary thing you're doing is pinning 10 to 15 to 20 different magazine covers that you're interested in. Those magazine covers do not have to come from Behance, so you can search for them on Pinterest if you want. You could search for them in just Google and then just pin the actual image to that mood board. Now, there are some magazine cover sites you might consider checking out, like this magculture.com. This has a ton of different images from both current and past covers. Don't know why it's not loading. We'll give that a moment. There we go. So you can see a variety of different magazines and stuff that are there. You can look at the different pieces that are set up. You can also check out some of these other ones. It's spd.org or Cover Junkie. I like Cover Junkie. There's quite a few images that are here that I put onto my Pinterest board. One of the things I like with this is a lot of this is more current information, which is really nice. But you could look just straight in Google and go to Google Images and then look up magazine covers. If you're looking for a very specific one, you might I want to look up music magazine covers if I'm going to do something with music, and start to see some commonality, see some things that are used, and you can pin those directly to your Pinterest board. So that's what you're going to be working on for the beginning part of the Pinterest board. The next part is going to be actually posting some images that you think you might want to use for your magazine cover. So before you do that, you'll fill out this magazine planning sheet. You'll type in your name, describe your topic, some possible names, some possible taglines, the article, and then ideas you have for possible photoshopping, something that you might do to make the images or something about the graphics on the cover pop out. So you'll be filling this out. And then you can start looking at some of these free image sites that I've posted for some possibilities. Maybe you're doing something with hiking. So I'm going to do a magazine with hiking. And I'll start to look for images that I think might look cool on a magazine cover. That one could be kind of cool. So I'll pin that one to my Pinterest board. You're going to want to find, I don't know, maybe 5, 8 possible images or so, somewhere around there, so that you have some possible ideas to work with for your own magazine cover. Now, as far as the assignment, so let's take a step back because that was a lot of information. What you're going to do is you're going to watch this video, and then also the college has a intro magazine video that's connected to this one, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. After you've watched those 2 videos, you're going to make a Pinterest board similar to what I did here, and you're just going to pin quite a few images for magazine covers that grabbed your attention, something that you felt was interesting to look at, that you think you might be able to create. So you're going to do about 10 to 15 of those on the Pinterest board. Then you're going to complete this band planning form, the magazine planning form. That's this PDF file, so you'll just download that. And I've got it set up so it's a fillable form, so you can just fill that out. You can see here, pop this open. It's a fillable form, so you can just type directly into the form. If you run into problems with that, just let me know and I'll figure out what's going on, but it looks like it's working fine here. It's just taking a little bit of time. And then you'll save that. You're not going to turn this into me. You're going to include this in your screencast. So back here to the assignment. So you make 10 to 15 magazine covers on your mood board. You fill out your band planning form. Then go to some of those free image sites and start to think about, what is your magazine going to be about? Whatever topic you come up with for the cover is going to also be the topic that you use for the magazine spread, which will be a project we'll work on after this one. So you want to make sure that you can find something that you're interested in, but also something that has a lot of images that you can use. I've had some people in the past do some stuff like on Spider-Man, and were only able to find about 5 images that would work, that were royalty-free, copyright-free images. And so they really struggled when it came to doing the magazine spread. So I would try to find things that are less specific. So not finding celebrities, not necessarily finding specific sports teams or specific video games, but finding images and topics that you could use more generic images for that would be a little bit more open to interpretation. If you have questions with that, definitely hit me up and I'll help you with it. So on this Pinterest piece that you're going to turn in, it's going to be a screencast. You're going to screencast and show me your mood board and just briefly talk about what it was about some of these covers that jumped out at you. Then you'll review the magazine planning sheet with me and just tell me the basics. You don't need to read the whole thing to me, but just give me an overview. Specifically, if there's a name that's jumping out that you're like, I really want to do this name, I'd love to know what that is. And then kind of discussing what some of your photoshopping ideas are, or if you've got questions about that. Then you'll post the images that you might want to use on that mood board as well. So it'll be the covers and images that you may be interested in using, and you'll screencast that. So you just show me in 5 minutes or less what magazines you wanted, your planning form, and what images you think you may want to use, and you'll post the screencast right here. I will be available on Tuesday for open office hours. I highly recommend hitting me up for that, and look at all of the stuff that I have here in the modules section on the magazine cover. So if I come down here and I go into here, I've got the magazine cover. This is where the presentation is at. So this presentation you're looking at now is right here. This is a short intro that the college had for the types of things that they're looking for. So I'd recommend watching that and then start to create your mood board. If you go back here to the next section on the module, this is a link to the magazine's cover sites that you might consider using. You don't have to. There's the links to all the different websites that I found that work for free images. The next one here is where you'll actually post the assignment, and you'll submit your screencast. And that's what you'll work on for the magazine cover for this week. As always, if there's questions, hit me up during my office hours, and also send me an email and let me know what questions you have.